Super Hits 93.5 Red FM. You've heard of these guys. Super popular Bangalore-based Carnatic progressive rock band. Agam, welcome Harish to the show.
Thank you.
Harish, it's great to have you with us. And I've heard your songs. I've always followed your band. I think it's great music that you put out there. It's been about 17 years since this band has been creating lovely music. Your music is a phenomenon now. If you can tell us the story behind this band and how it was all put together.
Yeah, it's a long time ago now, but it's mostly a few of us from the same college got together in Bangalore. Most of us just found work in Bangalore. That's how most of non-Bangaloreans come to Bangalore anyway. So we all showed up, and I think we were just playing some stuff together. I think that's how it started, and then it was a good time to be playing music in Bangalore. The time that we started, like the mid 2000s, had a huge explosion of multiple different artists coming together, playing like very diversified genres. A few people to name, that was the time when Raghu Dikshit was playing, Antaragni was playing, Indian Ocean was touring the side of the city, and beyond metal, the scene opened out in Bangalore. A lot of things happened. It now in retrospect feels like a very long time ago, which it is. But that's how we also started. We had a slightly different idea to work with, and we just wanted to see how that would all come together by writing some songs. And I think the time period that we decided to go live sort of lent itself really well to our favor, because there were concert venues to play at, and there was a natural appetite for people to come and listen to more diverse. And Bangalore that way is very, very welcoming of diverse musical styles. There's no one genre that has ever existed. The metal has remained, but then pretty much all other styles of music have found footing in Bangalore. So that's how we started. We started creating music, and we wrote songs the way we understood music. So a bunch of us came from Indian classical music background. A bunch of us grew up listening to Western music, rock, metal music. We just came together mostly because we were friends and we wanted to kind of put something together. That's how we started. And I think once we went live, it just seemed like there was something in it. And we found some folks liked it, and the word spread, and we got more concerts to play. And that's how any band takes off. We were no different. I think that was probably the genesis. I think it was not... Nobody premeditates this. At that point, the intent was only to put some music together and get it out there, and we've been fortunate, I guess. It has lasted us 17 years, and we're still playing, so it's a good thing. Yeah,
absolutely. And you guys brought Carnatic music and rock together. Now, how did this idea of fusion come about?
Look, we were not the first, right? So attempts to bring Eastern styles of music, whether it is Indian classical, Carnatic music or Hindustani music, with some influences of Western music, has been tried. I think it's been existent from probably 70s. Our goal, I think I didn't say when goal is a wrong word, let me erase that. Our intention was to not create this amalgamated style, which was very common at that point, and try to bring in and try to find the sweet spot of Western music and Indian classical music. That's what fusion ideally attempts to do. You find a common footing, you find a common scale, a common way of representation, and that was what was being tried at that point in time. And of course, it's a genuinely tough style of music to create, and only few people get it right, and most of the others just don't get it right at all. We just thought we should probably look at it a little differently. We, in that sense, are a little anti to that idea. I don't think we tried to bring or merge two styles of music together at all. I think we actually play them separately only. I think our style of music, and in retrospect, I think we have sustained and survived only because we have kept our genre sort of very loosely coupled. We are actually like any progressive metal band, with only one difference. Instead of writing poetry in English and singing it, we sing Carnatic music. So there is little to no fusion in our music. So if you just remove the aspect that we sing traditional Indian classical music for the melodies, we are an out-and-out progressive metal band. So we have little to no attempt that we have made for all these years to sound fusion. We are not trying to merge or meld styles together. And from time to time, soundscapes keep inspiring you, so we have brought them in, and that's how you grow as a band. So, yeah, so that was the idea, and yeah, it is. Yeah, it is what it is.
Like you were talking about how, to put music and the soundscape together. What if I asked you one singer who you would like to collaborate with, Indian and international?
Oh wow. Singer or just a musician? I mean, you want, is the question specifically
Singer.
singer? Yeah, I haven't thought about it, but there's so much. There's so much music that is created. See, I think I wouldn't name a singer. I am always fascinated by the music of the western, northwestern side of India, especially Rajasthan, Punjab, and especially the folk and classical styles of music of that region is very fascinating for me. And there are several incredible musicians in that belt, and these people, because they're just playing music and they're just finding joy in playing that. These are not the names that you would see commonly on social media. You don't see them in reels, but they're all there, and they are in my head. They are the true OGs. I think they are carrying probably hundreds of years of tradition together, mostly word of mouth, like taught by ear, taught to generations kind of music. I just want to try and learn from them, and at some point in time, the band should get some of that musical elements, at least from those singers, get incorporated, because that music, A, deserves to be heard a lot more, and B, is the most unexplored territory for us in South India. So probably if you just went to Punjab and listened to the local folk music there, you would know they hear it all the time. But if you look at Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kerala, look, we don't have a lot of exposure to that style of music, and there is a genuine gap you can fill by bringing that in. But in terms of specific musicians, yeah, who doesn't want to do something with Hariharanji? Like, Pandit Jai Chakravarti, who wouldn't want to work with him? Like so many such musicians that you can think about. Yeah, Nora Jones is a name that I genuinely think, for her piano work and the melodies that she writes. We don't even know how that will work for what we are doing, but then it's just fascinating music. So, yeah.
You entered the film industry with the movie Solo. If you could, tell us a little bit about that experience. Is making music for films different?
Oh, very different. It's just a one-off thing, and I think it's a very different. It's a very different faculty, if you may, and it's a very different state of mind and very different. The skills that you apply and the ethos that you apply in creating music for a feature film is very different from what you would do as a band or as an independent act. And specifically for that movie Solo, I think the director Bijay, he wanted the indie alternative sound. It was an anthology, and what he had as a vision was a very indie sound, which is why it was a logical thing for him as well as for us to go and create something for that. But and which is also why we enjoyed it. I think the process was very similar to how we write music, and of course there were some film sensibilities that were applied and whatnot. But it largely still remained in the realm of how we create music, so it was manageable. But if you were to purely speak from the commercial considerations of how music or soundtrack for a feature film is created, I think very chalk and cheese, very different skill, to be very honest. And I think it requires investment of time, it requires learning, it requires unlearning, and more importantly, it requires the tenacity and patience, because you'd never know when that one song is just going to work. While for bands, the scale is smaller, but you have concerts and people come to listen to you. But for films, it's a bit of a toss the coin, and which side is it falling will define whether that song worked or not. So it's harder. It's certainly harder. Yeah, but Solo was not that immensely difficult because it still was in a space that we were writing music in. So it worked out.
Great. I mean, songs always work out. And if I had to ask you your favorite song, which you would like to perform live, like, is there one particular song of yours that's your favorite that you would like to perform live?
Oh yeah, I mean, as in Well, picking one is hard, but then that's the case. Any band you speak to, any musician you speak to, you get this cliched answer by saying each one of them are my favorite. But yeah, I mean, as a band, there's a song called "The Celestial Nymph." It's very orchestral. It's difficult. Let me put it that way. It is a tough one to pull off on stage. So every time you're able to rehearse and play it like how it should be played, it gives you a sense of satisfaction that, and it also kind of helps you show your craft as a musician. It shows your musicality, it shows your technique, and that's what sometimes musicians always look for two things. One is the whole satisfaction of having appeal to an audience and getting the cheer and getting the applause, and sometimes it's also self-fulfilling, like, did your craft shine? Did your years of training or rehearsals or practice or whatever, did you have an opportunity to show that in ways in a composition? So I genuinely, I have a small role in that song, just so you know. It is musically pretty sophisticated, but vocally not that much. So I do very little in that song, but it still is a song that I feel a higher degree of satisfaction when it is executed right. Yeah, so.
Wonderful. Now, talking about social media, right? Has social media impacted your career in any way?
Yeah, I just made the career. I mean, as in, without which I don't think. Yeah, ma'am. Look, we in the sense, Agam is the first generation social media outcomes, right? Like, we were pre-Instagram, we were pre-Spotify, we were pre-TikTok, we were pre-Reels, let me put it that way. So we were long-form generation where the content could only be either put on SoundCloud or even more esoteric things like Reverb Nation. I know kids don't even know what that is. And subsequently YouTube, and then Facebook was the only distribution medium, right? YouTube and Facebook. So everything that an independent artist in India specifically has been able to do largely was because mid 2000s and late 2000s social media broke, internet broke, broadband broke, mobile internet broke. And by 2014, it was all mobile internet, and pretty much everybody had a phone, and accessing content over the mobile phone became a thing, and that that got everything going. If that was not the case, the only opportunity that we had sort of manifesting was radio, and that was the most powerful distribution medium that we have at that point in time. But then things have significantly changed now. Last 5 to 6 years, there's so many ways you can get your music out, so many ways you can get your stuff to people, so many ways that people can consume your content. But it also has resulted in fatigue and overexposure and lack of attention that people have. And the amount of listening has significantly come down. People just like small, bite-sized, very real format content is what people sort of want right now. So yeah, it has helped, but it also is challenging us in ways right now. So in a rather funny way, we are still writing 9.5 minute long songs, while I do know that the average consumption time on Instagram is 6 seconds. So it is what it is. So we also have to adapt and see how you still keep this going and get people to listen to your stuff. But yeah, no social media would have meant maybe only a fraction of what we are able to do today. So yeah.
It's important, like you.
Oh yeah, the most important, at least for my band, I can say without social media, nothing would have happened.
And speaking of which, like, what are your big plans of your band this year and the upcoming couple of years?
I mean, we are almost done writing another 6 songs. We've been slow, and that reason is primarily because none of us are full-time, with the exception of Yadu, who plays drums. We're all part-timers because we have other jobs that we go to, which has resulted in us having to double-time writing music. The concerts keep happening because you just take a flight and go and do them and come back. But writing new music has been challenging. But and also we made a good attempt in 2019 to finish it, and then you had COVID for 2 years, and then a bunch of things happened after that. This year specifically, I think we've written 7 new compositions. Very excited about them, and they've taken their time to manifest. We'll start playing them live, hopefully as quickly as we can. It requires rehearsals, and we have tours lined up. We will be heading to Australia next month. We should be in UK, Europe after winters, which is probably next summer out there, which should be 2025, and we should be in the US in September. So once that is done, this year should be done, and hopefully the new song should be out. So.
Wow, that sounds exciting. You guys have performed on so many stages, right? What is that one thing that is special about the audience in the North?
We don't get to see them as often as we would like because of the commercials of and also the dynamics of the music that we play. I think it has content that is more known to people of the south side of India, but North India has always been an exciting geography to play to, because you almost always end up meeting people who have not heard this music and they genuinely like it, and they become your fans, and they truly have things to say, like, because this is not something that's commonly heard. Just the way I told in the previous reference, where this is not music that is very frequently heard in that part of the country. So there's a lot of fascination, a lot of intrigue that we bring to people. We have played in Delhi NCR quite a lot of times, and some really good concerts, and we have always got fascinatingly good support. But also it is a little bit of statistical coloration of a lot of South Indians living in the north of India. So maybe they also show up. So it's not the entirety, but it is fun. It is different. I certainly would say playing in Bangalore and playing in Delhi are very, very, very different. And the experience is different, the outcome is different, the way you feel is different, but both of them are fantastic, and I would not trade one for the other. I think it's just awesome to play both.
Very well said. Yeah. Can you tell us that one thing which is exclusive to the Southside Story experience?
So it's a festival that we have been part of ever since the festival sort of was commissioned. Like, we've been fortunate to have played, I think, pretty much all seasons of it across both Delhi and Mumbai, and we are very fond of Southside Story for the sheer diversity of audience that it brings, and it's got a great vibe. It has got it's a festival with a lot of character, and I think it's also produced really well, which is a thing for a lot of us. I mean, when the production is good and when the sonic outcome that is promised to you is great, naturally your performance gets a lot better. See, usually we always do extended tracks at Southside Story because we are always fortunate to have a good deal of fans come in. Mumbai, specifically last year, we had a really incredible audience. Now, they almost sang half a song without me singing on the mic, and it's very uncommon for that to happen in cities outside the South 4 cities. So we are almost always playing stuff that we generally don't play because we just want to keep it tight, or we just want to not veer away too much. And see, for us, Southside Story is about the vibe. I think it is about how people feel about that festival, which they give back as energy. And I don't know, I mean, you might have heard about this. The first time when we played in Delhi, a spectacular venue in Delhi, which unfortunately had rains. And it was just two of us, the band called Thaikudam Bridge and us. We just said, it's fine, just take all the gear into a smaller banquet hall kind of setup, which was not really even a concert-ready, acoustically concert-ready room. But what a gig. I think everybody came, the entire bunch of people who had gotten drenched in the rain just walked in and they vibed through and through. So, yeah, there is something good about the crowd that Southside Story attracts, I guess. I think it is good for... heck, I mean, I don't know if it's even good to say on radio, but when you have an audience that's low on pretense and high on wanting to reciprocate for whatever the artist is providing, it just resonates well, and the concert just generally gets better. So I think that's been our experience, and we're always looking forward. Should be fun this time also.
So you're coming to the Southside Story. If you could sing one song that you're going to be performing there.
Yeah, man. I think I just have a little bit of a nasal voice, but it's okay. This is a song that generally get sung along. And we're hoping it happens in Delhi this time. So here we go. The song is called Mist of Capricorn. I'll sing 2 lines. Manavyalak charadate Manavyalak charadate Marmamilladil Pedate Manasa Manavyalak charadate.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
We can just go on listening to your voice. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great, literally, having you here at the Red FM studios, and we're really looking forward to the Southside story and you, of course, performing
Likewise,
that.
man. Likewise, should be exciting. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.